Today, I want to help you shut down your inner critic. That little shitty voice in your head that tells you can't do something, that says you're fat, that says you suck, says you can't cold call, says you suck at recruiting. That voice. Okay, we're going to shut it down. We're going to shut it down today. Really simple episode, but I reckon, I want to say 9 out of 10 people, but it's actually probably quite higher than that. Like 99% of people will have a negative inner voice. It's how we are designed. It is a programming error. I wouldn't even call it an error. It's a leftover program in our mind to look for danger, right? And now that danger's gone because we live in a society with shelter and food and pretty much everything available to us. We look for other dangers, right? So it goes to like emotional dangers or like work dangers or whatever, and it's just falsely applied. So that inner voice you have says you suck at this job, says you can't do it, says you're not good enough, it says, why can't I be good like that? We're going to go and let's try and hack that today. It's really actually quite simple. When you understand, I'm the sort of person that loves to understand why this happens, therefore you can go, oh, well, if that's why it happens, therefore we can fix it this way. So that's what this episode is, and it's pretty straightforward. Now, a lot of people will listen to this and say, I don't have a negative inner voice. I'm not that critical in my mind. I think you are. Everyone is. It is proven that everyone has a healthy dose of caution or whatever in their mind. The difference it is for those people is you probably don't listen to it. You probably don't see it as true. Now, the people who are listening to this episode and say, I've got a really harsh inner critic. I'm my own worst enemy. I talk myself down so much. You need to stop listening to it. It's going to always be there. Even the most positive, most confident person you can meet, even like myself, I still get all that inner critic, inner, put downs, whatever. It's just there, right? But I don't listen to it. I don't view it as true. I think it, and I know what I need to do. And that's what I want to give you today is what are some of these protocols. So we've all heard about manifestation. We've all heard about like what goes on in the mind will manifest, okay? It's actually a two-way street. So when you hear about that hippy-dippy stuff and you roll your eyes, don't do it. There's some real freaking psychological science behind this. I did this at uni when I was doing psychology. It's called cognitive dissonance, i.e. when your inner monologue is at odds with the external world or vice versa, i.e. We all know, like smoking was always the example. Like if you're a smoker, you know that is bad for you, right? So your external body is smoking and doing this thing that your brain goes, I know this is bad for it. How can they rationalize that? Well, you'll hear them say, yeah, but I go to the gym. Oh, I only do it when I drink. Or, I only vape now. It's better for me. All things to justify the behavior. So you need to be in harmony. Your body needs to be in harmony. And so when you've got this inner voice that's saying all this negative stuff, my first step is to literally prove it wrong, right? If your inner voice right now is saying, I suck at recruitment, okay? I bet there's someone right now that says, I find this hard. I suck at recruitment. Take that, hear it, but don't listen to it. And what I want you to do is you need to physically prove that voice wrong, okay? That sounds silly at the start, but it's almost like it's defiance. You go, I suck at recruitment. Just say, no, I don't. Check this out. I'm gonna set this task today, and by Friday, I'm gonna achieve that. There's no tangible right or wrong to what you do to set about a task that physically proves it wrong. The action of doing it means you're silencing that negativity. You're not listening to it. You are going, no, fuck you, I'm gonna prove it wrong. And what you find when the external body is at odds with what's going on internally, particularly when you're taking something that's a negative thought and trying to turn that into a positive action, okay, you'll find that the thoughts will follow. You'll find that the thoughts slowly, and they take a long time to rewire in the brain, but you'll start finding, if you get these physical wins, you got this negative thought, counter it with a physical positive step. Keep doing that. Just go, okay, that's a negative. Like, don't run away from it. Don't hide from it. Don't agree with it. Just go, there's a thought in my brain. It's not a good one. What am I going to do right now that counters that? So a great one is this. A great one is this. It's Rob Dial, and I listened to it. I think he gave this example, and I loved it, so I'm giving him credit for this. He was trying to build his mindset around this whole internal versus external mindset. How do I block out the negativity? Because it oozes out, right? You've got these toxic thoughts. They start to manifest in reality as true because they need to be aligned. So you think you're a bad recruiter, you're going to be a bad recruiter because you're going to act in a way that aligns with what's in the mind. Oh my God, it sounds so hippy-dippy, but just hear me out. So you start having these negative thoughts. He gave this example of walk past this guy who just had a funny fucking look. He had like a weird haircut and his brain went, what a dick. And he went, where did that come from? He didn't know this guy from a bar of soap walking past him in the street. So he says, I've got to counter that really quickly with 3 positive things. Mate, he's got some wicked shoes. I mean, mate, look at the confidence of this guy to be able to rock out into the street like this. I could never do that. And, geez, he's actually got a really nice watch on. 3 positives to counter the negative. So this is his Band-Aid. So there's countless examples of how you can do this. But the first is acknowledging that you've got a really harsh inner critic. Negative thoughts, these things you're just self-loathing, talking yourself down, all this stuff. If it's there, fine. I'm telling you now, you're not alone. Everyone has the negative inner thoughts. I do, okay? I just don't listen to them, okay? They're there, I go, whatever. My actions, I let my actions do the talking. And over time, more and more positive actions, more and more counter actions, more and more like do the things you want to be, right? And it starts to flow. Your brain starts to turn and you have that voice gets smaller and smaller, less and less noisy in your mind, and you're kind of proving it wrong. That's kind of my main, that's like the main counter thing for me, is if you hear this negativity, do a big action to counter it. And the second one is you're going to hear this inner voice, and I've sort of talked about it before, just don't listen to it. Just don't listen to it. Just see it as it is. It was a negative thought. You'll find soon, I talk about energy, like if you've had a bad night's sleep, or you run down, you're not healthy, you've had a fight with your partner, you are less able to deal with the negative thoughts in your mind. You haven't got the energy, you haven't got the clarity, you haven't got the confidence, you haven't got that feeling of, I can handle this stuff. So again, like if you're getting all of these negative thoughts and that negative self-thinking and the big critic in you, get your rest. Get your rest, find some energy, get some sun. You'll be able to handle it better. But just hearing the negative thought and consciously saying, I don't believe it. Oh, I hate cold calling. I don't believe it. I've had some good cold calls before. Counter it. Counter the thoughts. Like just as you're going. I mean, we all hear about these people who say you've got to look in the mirror and you've got to say, I love you. It might be a bit much for some people. I get it. I really get that because I don't do the mirror self-talk stuff. I hear it and I go, I understand that could. I can see how that would make a difference because you're looking at yourself, you're putting all this positive energy, positive thoughts. Again, it's just thoughts and positivity, right? So if you have a bad thought, you just got to go, what's the protocol? Real quick, just counter it with a positive one or a couple of positive ones. Just actively do it. It gets really annoying. And then all of a sudden you stop having the negative thoughts because your brain goes, I don't want these negative thoughts. I've got to think about some positive stuff. Even that works, right? The whole goal here is how do you contain the negative thoughts? How do you counter them? How do you squash it, make it, and it feels smaller? So that's it. Recruitment's such a tough game. And if your mindset is not going where you want it, that's not going to facilitate like results. It's not going to help you. It's not going to push you along in a positive way. Then we got to do something about it. So if this is you, just a quick recap. 1, have a bad thought, have a negative thought, be a critic, prove it wrong. Do something right now. Just do something to literally prove it wrong. Second one is you have a bad thought and you can't do anything about it. Just override that thought with 3 positive things. That's it. That's the crux of it. I've kind of harped on a little bit today. For me, this is a huge topic. This applies to anyone in life, right? This isn't even recruitment specific. But I can see a lot of recruiters who trip over their own feet because they are their own worst enemy day in, day out. And it's crazy. They'll even tell you how negative they are. They'll even tell you what they suck at. But even doing that, you just create this feedback loop that just makes the brain go, this is what I need to say to you to keep you going and to keep you safe, okay? So let's stop it, stop the cycle, let's do something about it. Big, massive action, fucking go. Like, share, subscribe. Helps us grow. As always, have an amazing day. Make all your deals come true.